And lastly, for me, champ, in the world of comparisons that we live in right now, if you can compare and contrast the fight between yourself and Floyd Mayweather Jr. and tonight's bout with Terence Bud Crawford, if you can.
No, I think Crawford is way better than Floyd Mayweather.
Floyd Money Mayweather and Terence Bud Crawford nearly ended up face-to-face in a full-blown confrontation live on camera right after Crawford's stunning victory over Canelo Alvarez. Security jumped in fast, entourages collided, and for a moment it looked like boxing's past and present were about to erupt in the same ring. No punches landed, but the tension said enough. The legend of yesterday, Floyd Mayweather, squared up with the dominant force of today, Terence Crawford, and it left everyone wondering, was this genuine beef, or was Floyd stirring the pot to keep his spotlight burning? Because here's the real story after Bud beat Canelo. The boxing world made its feelings clear. Many believe Crawford's legacy has now eclipsed Floyd's, and that's the spark behind all this heat.
These fighters, they're doing a shoulder roll, you see? I mean, yeah. And not knocking the guys that paved the way. And I want to come on record and say, I'm appreciative for guys like Sugar Ray Robinson and Muhammad Ali and Sugar Ray Leonard. So many guys that paved the way for me. But there's only one Floyd Mayweather. These fighters are not better than me. You look at the numbers, they say, oh, Canelo may end up beating more world champions than Floyd Mayweather. Wait, he should? With almost, 80 and 90 fights, he should? I beat more world champions than any fighter in history. I'm 50-0, but half of my fights was world title fights.
For years, Floyd Mayweather reigned as boxing's pound-for-pound king and proudly called himself TBE the best ever. He walked away at 52-0, untouched, never beaten, never even knocked down, with victories over Pacquiao, Cotto, Canelo, and De La Hoya. But Crawford just changed the narrative.
Thank you, GOAT, because you are the GOAT of this era. Terence Bud Crawford.
He's now a three-time undisputed champion, still undefeated, and has dominated across 5 weight divisions. And unlike Floyd, who critics say picked safer fights and faced some legends past their prime, Bud just stepped in with the face of boxing *** in his own prime division *** and came out on top.
Wild, because like if you look at Floyd's resume, it's much deeper than Crawford's. And Floyd was faster and he had a better defense and all that stuff. But Floyd picked and chose when he fought guys, especially once he left lightweight. He wiped out the junior lights, bring them. Lightweight, he jumps up to Jose Luis Castillo first thing. A lot of people think he lost the first fight, then I didn't, but then he won the rematch. But once he left lightweight, he was careful about when he fought guys. So even though his resume is deeper with names, people remember, yeah, but he didn't want it with certain dudes at certain times. Crawford, we all witnessed, even though the resume is thin in certain ways, he wanted it with everyone the whole time. Oh, yes. That makes a difference to people.
*** in his own prime division *** and came out on top. Interview 4. Max Kellerman even pointed it out himself. Floyd chose the timing and the opponents that suited him, while Crawford stayed ready to take on anyone, anytime. And that difference matters.
Was in fact outboxing him in the first half of the fight. It is one of the biggest wins in boxing history. And now let Uncle Max gather around, children, and I will explain this. This is the situation, guys. No one has ever been a 4-division champion in boxing. Not a real one. Oh, Pacquiao won 8 and Oscar De La Hoya won 11 and this one won 15. No, I'm talking about Ring Magazine champ or lineal champ. You are the champion of that division.
Get them all.
Forever, the record was 3 by Henry Armstrong. Manny Pacquiao was the first dude to really win 4. Floyd gets credit for 4 for beating Canelo, but that wasn't at the junior middleweight limit. I don't count that. I don't count that. Terence Crawford just joined Manny Pacquiao as the only legit 4-division champion in the history of boxing. And
the numbers are tight. The resumes are elite. But it's Crawford's willingness to take real risks that sets him apart. And that's exactly why the fight world is buzzing. Did Crawford just surpass Floyd Mayweather in greatness?
Crawford or Mayweather?
I think Crawford is better, bigger. He's actually, he moved in weight class. And I would say Crawford is a better fight all around fighter. Mayweather is really good too, though. You can knock him as well. You know, he's very talented. It would have been a tough fight, but I think Crawford would have the edge over Mayweather because of the long arms and because he's bigger. You know what I'm saying? And he would have kept him at bay. It would have been hard for Mayweather to counter, maybe. But Mayweather's definitely a technician. I mean, like Crawford said, you know, Mayweather has his era, and Crawford, this is his era.
To understand why this debate is so intense, we've got to rewind to the Canelo fight. Leading up to it, the narrative was the same everywhere. Crawford was simply too small.
Your favorite, Canelo or Crawford?
Canelo.
Yeah.
Canelo.
Hey, what do you think is the most significant part of that matchup in Canelo versus Crawford?
That he's comfortable at 168. You know, that he's been fighting there. He went and collect all the belts at that weight class. Crawford, of course, Crawford has a chance. He has a big chance, you know, being one of the pound-for-pound fighters of the world. But it's just the advantage of being there first. You know what to expect in that weight class. Crawford's coming off a 154 fight that he fought last year. So I really don't consider him even a 154. He's been fighting at 147 for a while. He had that one fight at 154, and then he stopped fighting for a year again. So, you know, of course he's probably been training, you know, again, high-class fighter. But to be comfortable at 168, you're gonna have to do some fights in there. And going in there fighting the undisputed champion, it's gonna take a toll.
Moving up to full weight classes to face a natural 168-pounder like Canelo Alvarez sounded flat-out crazy. But Bud didn't just survive, he outboxed him clean. Crawford circled, jabbed, countered, and systematically broke Canelo down. Canelo connected with some heavy body shots, no doubt, but none of them changed the momentum. By round 7, Crawford was standing in the pocket and winning the exchanges. By round 12, it was obvious and the judges made it official with a unanimous decision. With that victory, Crawford didn't just prove a point. He made history, becoming the first fighter ever to claim undisputed status in 3 separate weight classes.
Hat on, this time you've got a GOAT hat on. Is that how you're feeling? I know it says Muhammad Ali, but is that how you're feeling about Bud's performance, about his whole career?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that way, man. He's a GOAT. Greatest of all time, man. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to him. You gotta give it to his coaches. Not just me, Saul Red, Bernie, Chet, nutritionists, you know, everybody played a part.
Canelo said he's way better than Mayweather. What do you think to that?
Who, Terence?
Yeah.
Oh, of course. Of course he is.
And in doing so, he accomplished something Floyd never attempted, beating a naturally bigger champion *** at that champion's true weight ***. That's what many fans believe is fueling Floyd's reaction. Mayweather has always been a master of controlling the narrative. A man who built an empire on the money persona and the constant reminder of his perfect record.
Did I not beat the most world champions?
Yes, you did.
Okay. And in the least amount of fights?
Yes, you did.
Who got the highest gate?
Floyd Mayweather.
Who made the most money?
You did.
Who was the most accurate fighter of all time?
You were.
So it's basically saying that...
The greatest of all time.
Okay.
All right.
But now, all eyes are on Crawford. Bud is being celebrated as the new pound-for-pound king, with analysts openly debating whether he's greater than Floyd. Fans point out that he did what Floyd never dared. And Floyd isn't pleased. That's why he stormed the post-fight moment, why he's throwing shade, questioning Crawford's legacy, and even hinting at a potential matchup. Floyd knows Crawford's victory over Canelo overshadowed him, and he wants his spotlight back.
Chris Eubank's trainer, first of all.
It feels good, man. You know what I'm saying? I've been this trainer before, so.
Yeah, it's good.
It's a no-brainer.
Of course. Congratulations on the win. What's your first reactions to Crawford's victory? One of the greats of this era, right?
Oh, definitely that. You know that.
What do you want to see him do now?
What I want to do now?
What do you want to see Crawford do next?
Do what he at this point now in his career where he could do whatever he wanted to do.
Who would you like to see him fight? Any names? Is there any names in particular you'd like to see?
It doesn't matter.
What about Canelo? Would you like to see him retire?
I don't. Canelo's not my responsibility.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Terence Crawford doesn't need Floyd Mayweather. And this is crucial for fans to grasp. Floyd has a long history of engaging with fighters only when it serves him. Crawford never set out to challenge Floyd's legacy. In fact, he's always shown it respect. He even trained with Floyd in the past, calling him an influence. Yet, instead of celebrating Bud's historic win over Canelo, Floyd downplayed it, claiming Canelo wasn't that impressive rather than giving Crawford his due. That's classic Floyd, always guarding his own spotlight. And it's not just Crawford. Look at Gervonta Tank Davis. Floyd built him up with Tank Up, used his name to promote him, but the moment Tank tried to carve out his own path, Floyd tore him down and tried to reclaim the attention. Same playbook every time whenever a fighter threatens his status. Floyd shifts the narrative.
Give the spotlight, like why would he try to diminish your career? Because at that time I don't want to go too deep into it because I don't want to bring up mine. But it was somehow that they were saying that I was messing with his daughter off of the fact that she kept.
That's why fans are labeling it jealousy. Crawford wasn't going after Floyd, he was raising the sport to a new level. But Floyd can't handle the idea that someone else is now carrying the torch.
Fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
For years, Floyd's argument was straightforward. He's the pay-per-view king, the biggest draw in boxing.
I'm the fighter of the last century, honestly. and it's a reason why I'm the best fighter of the last 100 years. The credentials show it. And I went out there and showed it. What's better than going out there, being world champion for what, 20 years? Yeah. Box office, I got the record. Pay-per-view, I got the record. It's better to win have 5 world titles than 4 at one particular time.
But now, Crawford is showing he can do the same. The Canelo fight wasn't just historic in the ring, it was a box office hit. Netflix streamed it globally. The stadium sold out, and millions watched, making it one of the most watched fights in the past 20 years.
Terence fought a virtuoso fight. Terence never let Canelo get into a rhythm. Terence never allowed Canelo to get anything going, and I didn't think he could do it for 12 rounds. I thought that the first 3 or 4 rounds were going to be difficult for Canelo for that reason, but Terence was able to do it for 12 rounds, and in the later part of the fight, he kind of pushed the fight more than I think people expected, which is the mark of a superstar, man.
Crawford has proven he's not just the pound-for-pound best, he's the new box office king. He can fill stadiums, drive pay-per-view sales, and headline events anywhere in the world.
Is everything that you achieved, did the moment just hit you then?
Yeah, for sure. Like, it's just, the history, behind the sport is just everything that, I trained for my whole life. It all was, coming out that one night. That was all paying off. You have a lot of people that, adopted this narrative that Terence Crawford can't sell, Terence Crawford is not marketable, and they push the narrative to the public, and that's all people write about. Oh, Terence Crawford can't do this, Terence Crawford can't do that. But any one of Terence Crawford fights, you see a sold out crowd, but they wasn't talking about that. They was talking about how, marketable I'm not, and that kind of was hurting my career because, a lot of people was looking at me and said, oh yeah, they said he's not marketable. Or they said he's not, don't have a personality, things like that, because I didn't want to do things their way. I didn't want to put on a show. I didn't want to disrespect my opponents when they wasn't disrespecting me. Right. I wasn't, I'm not a guy that, wear jewelry for no reason. Just the things that I didn't want to do that they wanted me to do. They go out there and say, oh, well, they lost money on me. It's just crazy though to see me headline, not one of the largest attending fight in American history. In American history.
And that's why Floyd is rattled. Bud isn't just taking over inside the ring. He's taking over outside it, too. So why is Floyd suddenly circling a fight with Crawford live? The answer is simple: money and relevance. Floyd may be retired, but he's never truly left the spotlight. He's taken exhibitions against YouTubers, kickboxers, and even MMA fighters, all to keep the revenue flowing. But none of those bouts carried weight or legacy. A fight with Crawford would be different. It would be the biggest exhibition ever, practically writing its own narrative. The undefeated legend versus the undefeated king. Old school versus new school. The self-proclaimed TBA against the man now believed to be greater.
What's up, Floyd? Like, you know what I'm saying? If we was ever keep it real, boy, keep it real.
I'm never that type of guy. I think that's some grimy shit. Always been happy for him, been a fan of his, and I never imagined us fight. I never looked at him like, man, I know I'll be this.
Boy, you capping, bro. I never thought like fantasy fight me versus Floyd, nah.
Never. I never just was with a person and looked at him like, man, I'll be this, that. Never. That's some hating type shit to me.
Like plotting.
I ain't never been that type of person.
For Floyd, it's a chance to cash in and reclaim the headlines. That's why he's stirring controversy and why he nearly squared off with Crawford live. He's trying to bait Bud into one last mega payday. But here's the twist: Crawford isn't interested. Bud has always respected Floyd, calling him a legend and one of the best ever, but he's never sought a fight with him, and for good reason. Fighting Floyd adds nothing to Crawford's legacy. Floyd is 48, long past his prime, and hasn't competed at the top level in nearly a decade. If Bud wins, critics would dismiss it as beating an older fighter. If somehow Floyd wins, people would call it a fluke. Either way, it doesn't enhance Crawford's legacy.
6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? Keyshawn beat Tank?
Keyshawn beat everybody. Him and Shakur.
How you feel about them not fighting each other? That's cool?
Yeah, that's cool. They don't need to fight each other.
Was there anybody ever...
They can beat up everybody else.
Was there anybody ever like that in boxing with you? Because not really Sean Porter, right?
Nope.
No friends in this business for you?
I think Tim Bradley would have been like that.
Okay.
I think me and Tim Bradley would have been like that. I wouldn't have fought Tim.
If the opportunity presented itself against Floyd, you would have, though, even though you admire him so much and he's so great. But you
Floyd, yeah, because I wasn't as close. Me and Floyd close now, but when Floyd was boxing, I wasn't as close with Floyd like I am now.
How do you beat Floyd, though? Like, since nobody's been able to crack that code.
You think I would tell you?
He ain't fighting anymore, so that fight ain't gonna happen.
You gotta have 4 arms.
I know.
And 6 eyes to beat Floyd.
Is Floyd better than you? I think you got your answer there. Nah, I didn't hear nothing. Is Floyd better than you? Some fighters say, even like Gervonta Davis.
Beat your ass?
Okay, that's a no. That's a no.
That's why Bud isn't chasing Floyd. He's focused on building his own legacy, whether that means defending his crown, moving up to middleweight, or retiring undefeated. To him, fighting Floyd isn't about history. It's just business. And Bud has never been about chasing clout. So let's call it what it is. Floyd is stirring controversy to sell a fight that only benefits him. Crawford sits at the peak of his powers, holding a throne in boxing history, while Floyd is the retired legend, hunting one last spotlight. Their near brawl wasn't fueled by real animosity, it was promotion. Floyd knows controversy sells. He knows fans will debate it. Clips will go viral, and suddenly his name is back in the headlines. But at the end of the day, Crawford doesn't need Floyd. He's already surpassed him in the eyes of many.
Put him in the all-time list, man.
At least top 10.
At least
top 10 or top 15, easily, you know? There's guys that we may not know of or heard of, like Henry Armstrong. Simultaneously, he was 3 divisions carrying all 3 weight divisions at the same time.
Which performance was better? I don't like to compare them, but Crawford or Mayweather's over Canelo. Like it's just different.
It's just different styles, different looks, you know? But the punching, the output that he was giving Canelo definitely gave him the win.
The real fight isn't in the ring, it's the narrative. Floyd's legacy versus Crawford's, the old GOAT versus the new king. And after Crawford's win over Canelo, the torch has officially been passed. whether Floyd accepts it or not. So here's the story. Floyd Mayweather almost squared off with Terence Crawford live. But the real headline isn't the scuffle, it's the legacy battle beneath it. Crawford just defeated Canelo Alvarez, became undisputed in 3 weight classes, and is being hailed as the pound-for-pound #1. He's selling out stadiums, dominating pay-per-view, and many believe his legacy now eclipses Floyd's. Floyd, on the other hand, is jealous. He wants the spotlight back, craving the fight not for legacy, but for money and relevance. Crawford, however, doesn't care. He's already made history, and fighting Floyd wouldn't add a single meaningful chapter to his story. The question remains, should Crawford entertain Floyd's callouts, or leave the money and drama behind to focus on his own future?